What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. It's something that I was talking to my old man about yesterday. I have a Cam Jordan passion right now that is overflowing. And it was triggered by something completely random. It was, reading from OTA reports, Jake, and reading that Marshawn Lattimore, Demario Davis, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, all of your stars were not there. A lot of them weren't there. Now, some guys were hurt and they were there, but a lot of them weren't even there at OTAs, weren't even there on the field. You know who was? Cam Jordan. And I guess I just want to take this time to point out that when you're talking about Cam Jordan, I believe you are talking about arguably the most underrated and underappreciated New Orleans Saint potentially of all time. And I do not think that is hyperbolic. When you think about Cam Jordan, this guy is an all-decade team member. He will likely be an Hall of Famer. But the point is, in a day and age of player, load management, players taking it easy, less practice, watching out for yourself, all the Cam Jordan, what is he? He's been available it doesn't matter. It's not just game day. The guy doesn't miss practice. He doesn't miss voluntary workouts. He doesn't miss OTAs. He is always out there. There were seasons, Jake. He's still in the 80s. There were seasons where he was playing over 90% of the snaps. Definitely starting every game, played over 90% of the total snaps on the season, and yet still out there grinding on Wednesday practice, Thursday practice. He's always been underpaid. He's never held out. He's just taken whatever pretty good deal they threw his way. He's had maybe the most iconic team pictures of all time when you look at how he's changed his hair, his facial hair. He's got this incredible, just overflowing personality. He's not even from here. He's a Cali boy, and yet I think he should be the greatest Saint of the Peyton and Breeze era. And obviously, I'm not including Breeze era because it's called the Peyton and Breeze era. But even then, you maybe could because even Breeze came from San Diego, right? Cam Jordan has been Saint since day one. And all he's done is kick ass at a Hall of Fame level while never missing any plays, any practice, any games. At a time when Mike Thomas hasn't played in 3 years, okay? And yet, what do? We talk about Mike Thomas. We talk about Alvin Kamara. We talked about Drew Brees and Derek Carr. Why? Because Cam Jordan's dominance is boring because it's so consistent. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes this morning to highlight the incredible warrior consistency of Cameron Jordan. Show some freaking respect, y'all.
I would agree with you. I think he would be like the president of the underappreciated New Orleans Saints club. Vice president, Wayne Martin maybe. You have Joe Horn in there. Pierre Thomas would be in there. But none of those players, even Wayne Martin, he was dominant. They don't have the stats and everything that you just laid out for Cam. Like being on the all-decade team, that sets you apart from a lot of people.
Yes.
Like that puts you in, hey, you might be wearing a gold jacket one day territory. Yep. And if he continues, say he plays like he's been playing for 3 more years, I think he's there. It won't be first ballot or anything, but he'll be in the Hall of Fame one day. And for him to show up like this, that goes a long way with a lot of people in that building. I don't know that building, but it doesn't matter. I've been in NFL buildings, and that's talked about. Those coaches, when they meet, they're talking about Cam being in the building, being at OTAs, being at things that he doesn't necessarily have to be at. And the players that aren't there, it's like you hold that against them. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You're going to hold that against them because they're not there. So for him to go out there, continue to be the guy that he's always been, and remember, you drafted someone in the second round as an edge rusher that he probably wants to mentor.
Yep.
Make the team better because he's over there as a Grizzly vet doing his job. He's had first-round picks on the other side, multiple now.
Peyton Turner, Marcus Davenport can't find the field.
No.
Too physical. And that's the other part. This ain't a kicker, folks. Like, he plays one of the most physical positions. He's not even a pure pass rusher. This is not put him in there on third down, let him go do some finesse moves to get to the quarterbacks. He plays every down, and he plays run defense. And he's in the trenches, grinding for over a decade. And he's not missed. It's so good that you pointed that out, Jake. In a world where Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner exist, like, be extra thankful for someone like Cam Jordan.
Yeah. And now he's got Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame that he's probably trying to mentor.
Yeah.
ESPN.com, and I put it in a couple of days ago. It was trying to pick out exactly like what each rookie would do, who would have the most rushing yards, passing yards, receiving yards, and it had who would have the most sacks, and Foskey was in the top 4 in that category. So, I mean, there's high expectations for him. Who better to learn from than Cam Jordan? And also, like, it's a position the Saints have been chasing for a long time.
Yep.
And to make matters even worse, the two guys that we're just talking about, and Davenport's no longer on the team, Peyton Turner, I don't even know. Like, they're trying to, like, see what he can do. Can you play inside some? I mean, when they drafted him.
Can you just be on the field?
Anywhere. Hell, can you cover a punt at this point?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So you go and you draft a guy that you think can give you that, and also, like, to make it worse again, like Trey Hendrickson's out there in Cincinnati balling the last couple of years, and you decided not to pay him. You drafted these other guys, and so it's a position where you're continuing to search for somebody to give Cam some help.
Yep.
Think about if he had just a guy. It didn't even have to be a dude on the other side. What that would free up for him.
I mean, I agree. And yet, I mean, this year it's going to be Carl Granderson. I hope Granderson does well.
Taylor points out they had Hendrickson for a while.
Yeah, if he had a guy like Trey Hendrickson still with him, I mean, imagine
and
that.
Look how great it was, right? I mean, to Jake's point, I said, I know. What are you gonna do?
Going back to Junior Gillette too, the 2 years before he went crazy.
Yeah. That's true. Junior Gillette was putting up good stats opposite of Cam. That's one of the reasons why I'm hopeful for Brzee, right? Because that interior and exterior rush, that edge and interior, that it's a symbiotic relationship. Was one is good, the other is help. So maybe that helps out Cam a little bit as well. But again, I don't even care about Cam this year. The main thing I want to point out is just give this man his flowers, right? Because you are here in the twilight years of arguably the best Saint of this dominant era of Saints football. And honestly, I don't care about anything else about 2018. Like, the biggest crime is that Cam Jordan was denied a Super Bowl. And so I didn't read the piece, Taylor. Is that what they go into? They go, because the headline you wrote is Cam Jordan went to Super Bowl. And that's what kicked this all off in my brain, was me getting angry again that Cam Jordan was not given the opportunity to play for a Super Bowl.
And you nailed it, because they go into Cam Jordan taking on that kind of grandfather mentoring role, but they also go into him saying, look, part of the reason I play so hard, I don't take plays off, I want to win a Super Bowl. That's one of the goals I have before my career's over. So, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's going for.
Yeah, keep in mind, he got drafted the year after the Saints won. So the very first offseason he was in the NFL, he had to see, everybody else get the rings, everybody else, get the fruits from the championship. That probably makes him want it even more.
Yeah. Well, doesn't that say even more about him? Because he's talking about wanting to win a championship. He's never demanded a trade. He's never set out and held out for more money. I mean, that's the ultimate team guy.
It's absurd. He is I'm sure you can appreciate, Jake, he is old school in that regard.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because his Cali attitude, you would think, like, if you were just go to based off personality, you'd make a lot of prejudgments about, he's probably pretty soft.
You always hate on California. That's right.
He doesn't seem very gritty or kind of football-y, and yet he is the ultimate football guy, the ultimate loyal guy. And at this point, I wouldn't even fault him if he wanted to go try to find his fortune elsewhere, but he continues to throw his lot in with us here in the 504. So shout out to you, Cam Jordan. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.